All right, today is Monday, January 28th. I cannot believe it's the end of January. And there's Sebastian and Logan. And we are going to go right to Samantha B and her expertise. Here we go.
Hello, everybody. It is Fitness and Nutrition 101. It is officially still January. So we will be phasing up either this week or next week. I think most of us will probably phase up next week. And what that means is, just setting my timer, is that you're going to go, if you're in the experiment, from phase 1 to phase 2, from phase 2 to phase 3, and from phase 3 into the lifestyle, where you guys have a little bit of options, okay? So I know that we had a few people start the first of the year, so I think there'll be a big jump from phase 1 to phase 2. If you have not sent me mobility videos yet, you really, really should, because you've had a month to do it. And you've had a month to get some feedback, and you've had a month to improve it. So there's still plenty of time to improve it. There's still plenty of time to start continuously activating your core. They will change a little bit, but what will really change is how much strength training you're doing. And remember, strength training is really important once you get your food kind of situated, kind of get your lifestyle kind of situated, where you know that you're going to be able to account for fitness, food, and all the other things that create your beautiful, beautiful life. So if you're still feeling overwhelmed with the food, if you're still feeling overwhelmed with the fitness, if you're still feeling overwhelmed with trying to figure this whole big puzzle out, you need to communicate that. We need to figure out, one, how much consistency are we having? Are we having consistent exercise? Are we having consistent food? Now, a lot of times the biggest problem I see is that either we're consistent with one side or not the other, okay. We're consistent with the fitness, not the food, or we're consistent with the food and not the fitness. And Mama G's lifestyle is exactly not that. You cannot be good at just one or the other. You have to be good at both, okay? So if that means that we need to meet you in the middle, if it means that we need to kind of try to bring it down a level, then that's something that we need to do, and we can do, but we can't do it unless you choose to communicate that with us. So as much as I love to read your mind, we talked about this a little bit last week, you're either a feeler or a doer. I don't care if you're feeling, if you're doing, or whatever. If you need something from us, you've paid for us, okay? Not only are we invested with you because we want you to carry this lifestyle on so that you can show everybody around you for this world to become more healthy, but you have actually paid us to give you a service, and we would love to give it to you, but you need to communicate what you need from us in order for us to make this the most successful journey as possible. Now, with that being said, if you're getting ready to phase up and you're kind of freaked out about it, don't be. There's no reason to phase up, to be worried about phasing up. Phasing up really just transfers some of your attention to other of the fitness macros, okay? So I want to kind of go over a little bit more about what specifically we're trying to work on, just so that everybody's on the same board. So you're going to have your low intensity steady state training in your cardiovascular segments. Those are still just to get you moving in a groove and keeping those joints nice and healthy, not applying too much impact, and just making sure that you're actually creating some of that nice heart rate intensity, okay? And then you have your moderate training. So your moderate training, we're trying to bring the heart rate up a little bit more, maybe even adding a little bit of impact. And then you have your upper intensity, your high intensity, where we are trying to push you and your limit to start seeing some change in intensity. Intensity sometimes, my friends, is not comfortable, but intensity is necessary for change. We don't need to do it for 30 minutes. We don't need to do it for a half hour. Sometimes just bouts of 10 minutes, okay? I'm going to share with you a really short story. I was finishing a deload last week. So what a deload is in a specific training plan. If you've ever followed a specific training plan, you can't always make gains, okay? You have to kind of give your body rest in order to grow again. So usually there's a specific date that you're working towards. Mine happens to be February 28th, where I'm trying to peak. So I'm getting ready. Today actually starting my last new cycle before that day. But last week was my week to kind of fine tune and pull back, not lift things as heavy or try to make too many strength gains, but just to give myself a little rest. Now, I had a super busy week. I have a lot of things going. As you guys have heard, I am opening my own location. I've got all kinds of things in the works, and life has just been super, super crazy, and not enough time in the day usually. Now, with that being said, I still need to make training a priority if I have that goal at the end of February. So I had an hour, I had booked sessions. I book every hour on the hour with no break in between. So I had 6 sessions back to back, and then I had an hour off. And it was the only time I had to train. I didn't have any food. So I wasn't going to train on an empty stomach. I'm working on getting stronger, not losing weight. So it's never a good idea for anyone to train on an empty stomach, I don't think, but especially if you're trying to maintain lean muscle tissue, that's definitely not in your best interest. So I had 1 hour. So I was like, let's go to the store. I get something to eat, I get something to drink, I come back, and now I have 45 minutes. I change my shoes, I get my stuff ready, now I have 40 minutes. I went 40 minutes as hard as I could go. I didn't need to take as much rest as I normally would because, like I said, I was deloading, but I actually finished my workout in 40 minutes, which is unheard of for me. I normally train upwards of an hour and 45 minutes, usually on Mondays and Fridays at least, and on Wednesdays I'm really usually trying to pull it back underneath an hour and a half. So for me, I was really dedicated and trying to get everything in. Granted, I probably could have taken a little bit more rest. I was a little bit sore than I normally would be because I kind of pushed it a little bit. But all in all, I got my training in. That is the moral of the story. You don't need 2 hours. You don't. And if you're telling yourself you need 2 hours to train, you are making it impossible for you to train regularly. If you are telling yourself that everything needs to be perfect in order for you to train, like you need to be at the gym, you need to have a special workout song, you need your headphones. Oh no, I forgot my headphones, I can't train. Oh no, I forgot my Apple Watch, I can't train. Oh no, I forgot my heart rate monitor, I can't train. You can train under any circumstance unless you're training for a specific sport that you need specific tools in order to do so. For the majority of the people on this right now, don't need anything specific to get a workout in. Okay, so that's kind of where choosing a workout is really, really important. Okay, so right now, if you are in the experiment, I do expect you to be working the fitness macros. If you do have a sport involved, maybe it's tennis. A lot of people I know in Southern California do participate in like a tennis game, which is awesome. We can incorporate that in there, okay? And that's kind of been the case. Or maybe you're a golfer, or maybe you're downhill skiing, or maybe you're cross-country skiing, which would be great. But whatever it happens to be, we can work that in there. That's a little bit different than if you are a lifestyle. If you're a lifestyle, now you're choosing your workout. I don't know if you're doing CrossFit. I don't know if you're doing Orange Theory. I don't know if you're doing a strength training workout. I don't know if you're doing My Life WOD. I don't know if you're doing running. But something that you choose to do needs to do a couple different things. One, it can't train you until you are tired, fatigued, and just on a constant state of stress on your body. And number two, you need to be seeing some type of progression. And what I mean by progression, I mean that you need to be feeling better in workouts. That if you do 10 body weight squats today, they're going to feel better next week, and they're going to feel better the week after that, and they're going to feel better the week after that. If you're doing a workout that you're not feeling better in your workouts, something needs to change. And that's where I can also help you. That's kind of why I created Life WOD. Now, Life WOD might not be the perfect situation for everybody, and I totally understand that. You do have to have a sense of, internal motivation. A lot of people really like to work with a coach or really like to work in a group setting, and I think that's awesome. And if you know you're one of those type of people, then great. That is awesome. There's nothing wrong with it. I hope that if you are choosing to work in, I don't really care what opportunity you have in a group training, that you identify with the two things that I just said. That one, you're not training your body into the ground, and two, you're seeing progress. And if you are doing those two things, then I love your training program, okay? No one's asking you to do exactly what I do or exactly what Mama G does. We're asking you to figure out what feels good in your life to allow you to become better for the rest. What we don't want you to do is get stuck in a rut and then throw exercise away, or get stuck in a rut and throw nutrition away, or get stuck in the rut and go back to what wasn't working before. The whole purpose of us doing these Monday night calls are to kind of highlight some of the conversations that we have during the week about fitness and food, and give you a, hey guys, wake up. Nobody's reinventing the wheel. A lot of people, we have a few people that have been working the program for a really long time right now that have found somewhat of a maintenance. And maintenance, believe it or not, is progression. Because when in the past year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, I don't know how long it's been, that you've been able to maintain a healthy body weight with healthy blood work, with healthy is the key word, body. And if you haven't done that for the past year, 5 years, 10 years, you are doing better. So stop trying to find something that's going to magically make you fit into a size 4 pairs of pants. Stop trying to find something to make the nutrition isolate, or that's not the word, not isolate, remove or demonize one food group. Stick to the plan. And if you're looking to make a change, you need to look at you, the effort you're putting in, and making sure, ask Samantha B, is this everything that I could be doing? Okay? And I'll give you my honest opinion. And then you could ask Mama G, is this everything that I could be doing? And she'll give you her honest opinion as well. That's what you're going to get from Mama G and Samantha B. One, we're going to educate you. We're going to hopefully educate you in a way that you don't do that. You don't do those, where is my magic bullet? Where is my magic day that I turn into this perfect person of size 4? When are you going to be perfect with what you have right now, and that you're making progress because you're keeping a healthy body weight, you're keeping a healthy blood work, and you're keeping healthy, okay? I just wanted to throw that out there. So I talked a little bit about choosing a workout. So 2 things that you need to identify with. 1, are you beating yourself up? And when I say it's okay to be sore, being sore is fine, but being sore every single day, day in, day out, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all the way through the month with no end in sight, when your body's never feeling good, that exercise program has too much stress on your body. Now, that's kind of a really tough thing to figure out. And believe you me, I talked to Regina about this a single time this week. Uh-oh, losing it. Coffee overload. And you want to know how Mama G and Samantha B have totally built this confidence of the Mama G's lifestyle? I'll give you a second to think about it. How did Mama G and Samantha B become so confident that they figured this out? We made every mistake that you're making. We made all of them. Yeah. Samantha B and Mama G were professional mistakers. And Mama G can say that she's been living this lifestyle for whatever she claims it to be. What is the age? 41? I'm just kidding. But in those years, in my years, let's just use me, I have made as many mistakes as I am preaching to you right now. And I kind of had this epiphany that I said to her, maybe we need to let them make more mistakes. Maybe we should. I said to a client, and if she listens to this call, she'll know that I'm talking about her. I'm actually talking about her this time. She's asking me a little bit about active recovery, and I want to kind of go over what I spoke to her about defining that. And I said, hey, you'll figure it out one way or another. And I didn't mean that in a way to be rude or mean or condescending, but that's kind of what might need to happen. So we can give you guys all kinds of tools. We can tell you about experiences. We can tell you the why. We can tell you the science behind it all. But until you really feel it, until I can really tell you that I squat my body weight plus, and the purpose is because I can really manipulate my body, you will never know what I'm talking about until you start to do it. Mama G today actually lifted the best she's ever lifted, ever. I've lifted with her for almost 4 years now. And today she had a 5 rep max above body weight. I was thrilled. Great depth, charging the hole, super neutral back, very upright body position, really focusing on the legs. And she finally, I mean, she's been lifting forever. You can grow every year, every session, every squat, as long as you are training in a way that your body is able to, one, not be beat down, and two, shows progress. And if you're not seeing those one or two things, then I don't love your workout program. But you know what? I'm not doing your workout program. I'm here to give you advice. Do you want to ask me a question? Go ahead and ask me a question, okay? That might not, I might not agree with the way you're training, but I don't need to agree. The only person that needs to enjoy your training is you. And as long as you're not getting hurt, then you're fine. Maybe you don't want to see any progress. Maybe your strength is where you want it to be. That's fine. Maybe you kind of have in your head like, I shouldn't be able to get any stronger. And that's kind of the argument that I have with, I don't have it with them, but in my head with a lot of my clients, that I know that they have all this potential that they will feel really good at as long as they trust the process. But it's that not wanting to get uncomfortable that kind of holds them back a little bit. But it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful world out there with all kinds of ways you can exercise. There's, like I said, CrossFit, Orange Theory, Pilates, yoga, strength training, life quad, running, marathons, half marathons, tough mudders, Spartan races. You can do whatever you want to do, but I want you guys, don't beat your body up. Don't be sore and beat down and tired every day. Number one, your body's not going to like it. Number two, nobody around you wants to hear about it either. And I want you guys to see some type of progress, something that's better that you're working towards. Because then once you actually hit it, like Mama G today, I said to her, I really want you to hit that 5 rep max above your body weight today. And she goes, okay. And she was focused. But it felt good because she did it. It's something that we've been working on. And maybe she could have done it a little while ago, but not anywhere near the technique that she has right now. And to be honest, those are the clients. Those are the moments that I love being a part of, because you know what? We get all this crap all the time. We have stress at home. We have stress at work. We have stress in our family. We have stress in our relationships. And then you get a time that you just get to be you. You get to be you from what you can do on the inside. And that's kind of what I love about strength training, because it's such a personal, individualized moment. It's you against you. It's not you against anything else. And you get to break it down. You get to be you. And you get to show you how hard you worked. And there's no cheating it. You either can do it or you can't. And there's something very profound about that. So I want you guys to kind of have that realization about whatever training program that you choose to do once you become into a lifestyler. When you're in the experiment, it's your time to experiment. So if you are looking towards, I kind of like this strength training stuff, getting into the lap, hold on, you could say, Sam, I wonder if I can progress that. I'll tell you how. I'll tell you how, and I will be happy to guide you. All you need to do is take my hand and shout out to me, hey, Sam, check this out. I wanted to remind you that you can bring as many videos to our WhatsApp chat as you would like. I would love, love, love to see them. Now, let's get, as I mentioned before, active recovery. So a client had reached out to me, and she's fabulous. She is absolutely fabulous. And I am so happy that she has this new profound purpose with some of her free time, that she gets to experience life in a different way, an active and healthy body. She gets to be proud of her body. She gets to tell herself that she's beautiful, because she totally is. And she asked me a question today about this weekend about active recovery. And so I thought about it, and I figured I might as well have this conversation with the entire group, because I think that it is really important. So active recovery is an opportunity for you to prevent injuries. That is the entire purpose of incorporating recovery strategies in your training program. So if you train all out every day doing the same activity, let's use, for an example, running, your body is going to be beat up in a sense of stress of running, okay? Now, you could have a whole bunch of different stresses on your body. For right now, I am getting ready to compete. I'm opening a new business. My entire equipment package is lost in Amsterdam. I am 7 days out and I have nothing in my facility. I have a full group of classes starting on Monday. I have new payment structure that I get a false identity threat, and so I had to prove my identity. And I started new software, all along with a child that has croup, a husband that I've been arguing with, and a full book of business along with a couple other side projects. I am busy and I am stressed. And my amount of stress right now is not the same as when I don't have any other issues except for training and my normal workload. So right now, I cannot expect myself to be able to train as hard if I can't remove some type of stress. So I might have to remove my stress from my workouts. I might need to remove my stress from my husband. No, just kidding. But I need to be able to manage my stress in a way that, one, I'm not beating my body up, and two, I'm seeing progress. So progress to me is really important because in 4 weeks out, I'm starting a new cycle, which puts a little bit of stress on me only because I have really high expectations for myself when it comes to this program. But that's my own stress that I'm putting on myself. So managing that a little bit is really important. So activities of daily living are going up your stairs or doing your laundry, I hope, or doing the dishes, I hope, brushing your teeth, going to the mailbox, maybe doing a quick sweep on the floor, maybe even mopping the floor if that happens to be your Wednesday afternoon. Activities of daily living are not exercise. Your activities of daily living are not going for a walk. Your activities of daily living are not going for a swim. Your activities of daily living are not going into the weight room and lifting 50% of your 1 rep max. Activities of daily living are what you need to do in order to live, okay? Not what you want to do in your life, what you need to do to live. So feed yourself, take care of yourself, and take care of the area that you inhibit, okay? So when you are making a training program or looking at your week and you decide that you're going to take a day out of a day that's called active recovery, that means you're going to still continue with your activities of daily living, but you're going to use a form of exercise that's different than when I started this analogy was running. So maybe it's walking, maybe it's an elliptical, maybe it's swimming, but it's not running. Okay, so your active recovery is not going to be running. It could be anything but that. You would probably want to bring down intensity, but it could still be moderately high if it was in a different form of training. Okay, let's say that my normal training regime is weightlifting. So it's snatching, clean and jerk, squats, hamstring accessory work, shoulder accessory work. So for me to do an active recovery day is the same as I just said, anything but those exercises, okay? So does that mean that I would bench press? No, okay? So I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do something against resistance probably. So I'm trying to let my body rest. Might want to do something to stay active, and that's the purpose. So if your normal training regime is fast walking, really fast, you get your heart rate into your moderate zones, maybe even into your red zone if you're on a treadmill on an incline or outdoor on an incline and wearing a weight vest, whatever it happens to be. So what would be your active recovery? Well, you could go elliptical, you could go bicycle, you could go swimming. Incorporating active recovery is super, super functional because remember the goal is not to beat your body up, but it also I can understand that you get a really good feeling from having regular exercise in your life. And I'm not telling you that my stress level is the same as yours. So right now I'm training 3 days a week with an optional 2 days of cardio. So I say optional 2 days of cardio because it's optional to see how I'm feeling because my stress level is so high with all this stuff that's going on. So will it be that way post February? No, it will change. And depending on what my goal is and depending on the stress level in my life, depending on the stress level in your life, if you think that having all kinds of stress in your life is going to allow you to live in a healthy body weight and a healthy blood work and a healthy overall situation, you are wrong. You need to manage your stress on your physical activity, on your emotional activity, and your, I guess, spiritual activity. I mean, I think you should manage it in every way that you can. Hello, control freak. My name's Samantha Johnson. I'm a control freak. But identifying the fact that you're really stressed is definitely going to help you with that. So I'm getting ready to finish this up, and I want you guys to understand that, of course, there's good stress. Of course, there can be bad stress, and kind of finding that happy medium is kind of like life's balance, you know? And a lot of times you might not think that you're doing enough, okay? A lot of times you might think that doing more is going to make you hit your goal faster. And so here's my little finisher on this topic. I have made every possible, my hair is out of control. I need to like shower and do a bunch of things to pull myself together. And now I look bald. Okay, we're just gonna go for it. Okay. I have made every mistake that you have already made. I have starved myself. I have binge ate. I have exercised anorexia. I've had regular eating disorders, not eating, regular anorexia. I have, I have completely not used any type of support system. I have exercised on injury. I have not progressed or deloaded. I have done it all. I've taken supplements. I've overdosed on vitamins and overdosed on stimulants and anything to get my wheels turning, because you know what? I was looking for that magic bullet. And it was a long time coming for me to figure out that I can manage my life as healthy as I wanted it, as I always wanted to view it, once I got in control of my food. Once I got in control of my fitness, and I actually gave a crap about when my body didn't feel right. I now never put myself in a situation physically where I'm not feeling in a position where I should be working out. If my body was beat, there are days that I train, and I'm going to be there to train. And if I was supposed to progress on that day and I don't, it's fine, as long as I'm staying consistent with my workouts. But there's days that I could be optional doing training and my body is beat to crap, then I take recovery. Whether it's active or full is completely based on whatever you decide to do. But we've made the mistakes. You are not the only person that didn't follow their diet perfectly. You are not the only person that struggles with doing regular exercise. You are not the only person that wants to be healthier. But guess what? You are also the only person that can change it. We cannot change it for you. This does not happen through osmosis. I cannot reach out to you and say, I'm going to give you all of my strength. I'm going to give you all of my meal prep. I'm going to give you all of my extra time so I can do your laundry so that you can get things done. It's busy. Life is busy. It's hard to manage a family, friends, social life, work, food, fitness. It's hard. But guess what? At the end of it all, you are the prize. You get to wear those pair of pants that make your butt look good. You get to show your belly off when you go to the pool this summer. You get to do whatever that makes you feel like you deserve the body that you're in and the life that you're in and the enjoyment of being able to go outside and do whatever you want to do and take care of yourself and take care of the ones around you. You're the only one that can change this. So whatever you need, if you need help on the fitness side, maybe you need more of a challenge. Maybe you need to talk it out and you're going to say, my fitness regime right now is or is not working. And the first thing I'm going to ask you is, how's your nutrition? And if your nutrition's not spot on, don't expect your workouts to do anything for you. Okay? Your food comes first. Your fitness comes second. That's just how it is. And as much as I love fitness, you have to get your food in order. If you want to be healthy, you want to be healthy. So ladies and gentlemen, it is up to you. Don't train your body into the ground, and make sure you are having progress. Give a shout out to Mama G for a personal record today. Long time coming and happy to be a part of it. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't wait to hear about all of your personal bests, all of the progress forward, and everything that is about to come. Please don't hesitate to ask as many questions as you would like. I am Samantha B, and you are better for the rest.
As usual, Samantha, beautiful job. Okay, look at what Mama G's eating. Anybody know what I'm eating? Celery. Did you hear what I heard this week about celery? Celery is it. It's the new magic food of the month. But I prefer to eat it like this. I like the light green stalks. And I find it enjoyable. But I'm not going to be juicing celery. I'm not going to be eating a head. Is that what they are? Head of celery? What is it called? I don't remember. But the whole thing of celery every day? Nope. Because I got too many other things to eat. So it's ironic, Samantha B, that you use the word osmosis, because that is what I'm going to be talking about today. I will say this first. Wednesday night on the Q&A with Mama G, we are going to be learning how to read a food label. And this came about from a lifestyler who has been with us for a long time, who didn't know how to read a food label. And I went, holy Toledo. If this person who knows so much about food and fitness and has a really good handle on MyFitnessPal and building recipes and meals doesn't know how to read a food label, then the fact is, I'm going to put money on the fact that most of you do not know how to read that food label as well. So we will be doing that together, working on reading a food label. So hopefully you can join me Wednesday night. Otherwise, you can watch it, not just listen to it live, because you need to be looking at the screen. So osmosis. I believe, and Samantha B believes, that many of you think that you can learn to live the Mama G lifestyle through osmosis. And it doesn't work that way. So let's do a little bit of let me just read a little bit. A common misconception is that learning is essentially absorbing information. Students sit in the class, teachers say things, students absorb the information, right? Tests are given then to see if a student absorbs that information. It's called learning by osmosis idea. As long as you're in the same room or you're actually listening to the teachers, you're bound to learn something. Well, actually, nothing can be further from the truth. And here's the truth about studying. So I found this very reasonable, logical, and 100% true for the Mama G lifestyle. All learning must be active. You will never learn something by osmosis. Learning by osmosis is not a thing. Don't expect to record a lecture, listen to it in your sleep, and actually learn anything. The brain doesn't work like that, and learning doesn't work like that. It would be great if it did, and it'd be great if you could absorb healthy eating, good nutrition, and your exercise through osmosis, but it doesn't work that way. So let's talk about what learning actually is. Learning is really hard work, and succumbing to the Mama G lifestyle is hard work. Learning by osmosis isn't work. That's when you take a nap on your science book, or when you're listening to this call right now and you think you're going to know it all, right? It doesn't work that way. Learning by osmosis isn't work. Work is recreating something. So let's talk about that. Students who want to succeed have to come to grips with this. You are all students of Mama G and Samantha B. We tell you all kinds of stuff. We have given you all kinds of stools. Hopefully. We have given you all kinds of tools via the website, via the fitness macros, via the recipes, via all of the files that sit on the Facebook page, all of the nutrition and fitness 101s that I've been living for almost a year now, every single week. But if you haven't created anything yourself, whatever you learned means nothing. So I want you all to really consider that you need to interact with the material. That would be, the going to the grocery store and picking your ingredients and getting into the kitchen and making the food. So you could actually now start to understand what makes something taste delicious and makes it nutritious. Going to the gym or laying on the ground and doing your pelvic peels and watching the video and listen to Samantha B talk about, taking that spine one vertebrae at a time. It's not just about picking your hips up and pushing your hips down, right? There's a method to the madness, and it's hard work. So you've got to start partaking, all right? You've got to be active. I'm very much, you all know I'm very faith-driven, all right? Catholic from the cradle, but, and people pray all the time, and I believe in prayer. But I also believe that you have to be active in your prayer. In other words, I could say, please, dear God, I need this, that, and the other thing to happen. Please, please, please. If I take no action to help my cause, likely not going to happen. So cause and effect, all right? We've got to take action. The old adage, practice makes perfect is a thing. We're not always going to be perfect, although Mama G strives for perfection. But that practicing helps you get towards perfection. And it's kind of like the old riding a bike. Once you learn how to ride a bike, you really never forget. It was kind of the same thing with the skiing. I hadn't skied for probably 12 plus years. Put those skis on, and the old body knew exactly what to do. And, one of our experimenters was telling us that she was taking some courses about being a lifestyle coach, and that she didn't realize that Samantha B and I are your coaches. We are the ones who have the expertise and then have to teach you, train you, right? Which requires you to take action and utilize our expertise to help you succeed in whatever that looks like. So utilize us as coaches, but we're not doing the work for you. We do our own work, which makes us succeed in our ventures. So on Friday, I've been going to therapy every Friday. I'm a big believer in therapy. I've got some family stuff that I've been working on, along with a little PTSD. Yes, I do have that. But I've been sharing that I have been very frustrated with people in my life, not only clients, family members, strangers frustrate the hell out of me when it comes to nutrition and all the noise that's out there. I haven't used that word in a long time, but I need you to plug your ears to the noise, right? The nutrition noise. And it frustrates the hell out of me when somebody says, well, I'm on the ketogenic diet and I feel better than I ever have in my entire life. Okay, well, let's have a discussion over that. I had posted the other day on the Facebook public group the cashew chicken. And I said I served it with brown rice and some avocado. I forget exactly what I said. And somebody who is in the group, there's 700 and something people in the group, so I don't know most of the people, says, it looks great, but I would have left out the brown rice and I would have added avocado and cashews. Now, you already know Mama G builds that recipe so that it has 30% fat. But this person wants to take out the brown rice, add avocado and cashews, which is going to do what? Push that fat up tremendously while lowering that carbohydrate. So I knew that it wasn't just that I feel like eating it that way. I knew there was a reason behind it. So I said, so what's your reason? And she says, well, I watched a documentary. Oh, if you could see the steam coming from my ears. I watched a documentary called The Magic Pill, and I actually watched it 3 times. And now I've cut out all of these food groups, and I've never felt better. So Mama G, whew, could have done a multitude of things in making comment, but I actually did nothing. The next time I was at the gym, I found that magic pill on YouTube, and I watched it while I was on the Stairmaster. That got out my aggression. As I'm watching it, and by the way, I was on there for 45 minutes. I couldn't watch it for the whole time. I had to stop watching it because at some point I was disgusted by the scare tactics. I think there are a multitude of food documentaries out there that are there to scare you. Did you watch What the Health? The whole goal of them is to tell you why you have to be a vegan. Because God forbid you eat anything animal product wise. And they make animal products look disgusting, and it makes you feel guilty for participating in eating them, and a whole plethora of feelings that come along with that. So this documentary did a couple of things. So I want to share these things because I think it's very, very relevant. It was talking about a population, and off the top of my head, all of a sudden I lost the population, the Aborigines. So in Australia, this Aborigines population, now you have to understand that you can look at this population, and if they were eating the way that they had traditionally eaten way back when, before we human beings brought in crappy food, they didn't live long lives because they didn't have medical care that we have now, but they weren't dying of the same diseases we're dying of now, which is heart disease, stroke, cancers, diabetes, and the like, because literally those are lifestyle diseases, and they are caused by what we're putting in our mouths and our lack of movement. Okay, but now this Aborigines population, this segmented population that they were talking about, they're all obese. They have diabetes, heart disease, blah, 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 blah. And they said, well, what's the difference now? Well, guess what? They're eating like a westernized society. They're eating highly processed food. So let's take them back to the original ways of the Aborigines population, which, by the way, is based on where you live. So where they live, they eat a very high-fat diet, and an animal-based diet. So they eat things like coconuts and the flesh of the coconut, which has a lot of fat in it. And they raised animals, and then they slaughtered the animals. So they were able to eat more of what we would call the paleo or the ketogenic, which is more of a high-protein, high-fat diet. And guess what? They took away all the processed crap. And guess what? They got healthier. Now, then you can say, well, Mama G, they're not eating all the beautiful grains and the legumes and all the vegetables that you talk about. We have to look at the whole picture. Can we do better? So did we do better for this population? Absolutely. Could we have made it even better for them? Absolutely. The second vignette they showed was a little girl who suffered from daily seizures. Now, I'm very intimate with seizures and epilepsy and all of that because of my own family history. And I know that the ketogenic diet back in the 1920s was developed for children with epilepsy who could not be controlled through pharmacology. Okay? And they fell upon it. It was an accident, but they found when they gave these children high-fat diets and low-carb diets and medium protein, that they were actually able to control their seizures better. And I'll tell you this, in anybody who has seizures, especially a child, those seizures cause damage every single time they occur. So I don't care what you got to do to stop those seizures. The ketogenic diet in that case was essential for those children so that we can control the damage that each seizure causes to their brain. Now, is it the best scenario for them? Absolutely not. Are we going to have to think about how we're going to get them more nutrition and fiber and vitamins and minerals and all those things? Absolutely. But in the short term, was it a quick fix? 100%. And we needed to do it for them. But then somebody at some point played with this ketogenic diet and understood that when we can push our body into ketosis, which is what happens, which helps protect the brain from the seizures and all of those kind of things, that ketogenic diet caused people to lose weight. Now, understand when the ketogenic diet that you have restricted a multitude of foods that is unsustainable, that you can't do this forever, and that you will go back to your old way of living, go back to your westernized diets, go back to the highly processed foods and gain the weight all back. And meanwhile, when you're on the ketogenic diet, you'll be missing out on vitamins and minerals and the beautiful fiber that's so critical to reducing your risk of heart disease, stroke, cancers, diabetes, and the like. Not all or one, okay? So with this little girl who was having these tremendous number of seizures, they went into the kitchen with the cameras and they opened up the refrigerator and they opened up the pantry. And guess what was chocked full in that kitchen? Bullshit, crappy, highly processed foods. So guess what they did? They threw it all away. Now, would it make sense that you take away all the highly processed food and you brought in more one ingredient foods, even if it was protein in the form of animal protein and fat, that we're going to see a change and an improvement in somebody's health? When you take away the chemicals and the all of the processed ingredients and the sugar and the artificial ingredients and the artificial colors, you don't think we're going to see an improvement? Is it the best that we could have done for that little girl? Absolutely not. Would we likely have seen an improvement in her seizures had we incorporated more real, wholesome food? You betcha. And by the way, who do you think was buying that little girl all of that crap? Her parents. And what do her parents have to say? She won't eat anything else. Guess what, parents? If you're not buying the crap, number one, from the beginning, your kids don't know what it is. They won't be drawn to it. Number two, if they don't see you eating it, they won't be drawn to it. So we really have to beware of these documentaries and all of the noise via the internet and Instagram and Facebook and everything else you're listening to, the articles that come out to talk about the superfood celery and the terrible foods and the this and the that and the other thing. And realize this is not brain surgery, folks. That we can logically choose to eat one ingredient, real, wholesome food. The key here is to be able to manipulate it into something that's delicious, and that's where the trained chef comes in. Not just anybody can do this for you. And you take that nutrition expertise for the fact that we want to eat a more plant-based diet. Doesn't mean we can't have some accoutrements like Mama G's necklaces, right? A little bit of animal protein here or there. A little bit of a this or that here or there. Moderation. But the whole bottom line is being able to eat a variety of foods having nothing that is non-existent. Last night, it was my nephew's fiance's birthday. And I said, Jess, what's your favorite birthday cake? And it happens to be my husband's favorite birthday cake, which is angel food cake, which I made from scratch, and whipped cream and chocolate with almonds melted on top of it. And guess what? We had a beautiful, nutritious, delicious dinner. I made perfect roasted chicken, and we'll be giving you that recipe. It's Ina Garten's. It's not Mom G's, but no big deal, because all you have to do is, when you cook this beautiful, perfect roasted chicken, you calculate your weight on your chicken breast, or you calculate your weight on your chicken thigh as a roasted piece, and it's no big deal, skinless and boneless, and you enjoy it for as it is, not a special recipe. And then I made a beautiful salad, and where we took romaine lettuce that I quartered and washed whole, right? And then my husband grilled it on the barbecue with a little bit of olive oil sprayed on it, salt and pepper. And then I made the Caesar dressing, which is in Mama G's recipes. And it was delicious. Little char on that romaine. What else did I make? We made roasted Brussels sprouts. We made roasted carrots, which I needed to use up. And our starchy gravy was potatoes or sweet potatoes. So I took a vote on who wanted what and made enough of each one. And the reason I chose sweet potatoes and regular potatoes, because we had a guest at the table who was gluten-free due to intestinal problems. So I wanted to make sure that I wasn't offering up whole wheat pasta or another gluten grain that I probably normally would have made. All right, so I could accommodate everybody's situations, and we enjoyed a beautiful, beautiful dinner, and then we all had a slice of cake without any guilt involved, because it was a special treat, and that was the end of it. So we have to understand that I understand your fear of failure. I would never run for president of the United States because I would fear that I would never be voted in. Some of you tell me you would never run a Spartan race because you're afraid of getting hurt. I have clients who are thinking about running a 5K, their first ever run, 3.1 miles. But they're afraid of making the commitment to it. If you don't try, you'll never know how well you could have succeeded. It's like with Mama G and the old lifting. I have spent a majority of my, well, I won't say that. Back in the day when I was in my 20s and Mary was a little peep, I had a best friend who, she and I worked at the gym, and we used to do heavy weightlifting, heavy stuff. And that was the start of the destroying of the shoulders. And so I've had both shoulders basically, reconstructed because of my killing myself in the gym. All right. Thankfully, due to modern technology, unlike Humpty Dumpty, they could put me back together again. Then I spent those middle years, the next 20 years or so, being a very consistent but more moderate exerciser. Always believing in cross-training, doing a variety of things, feeling like I've been sore my entire life, because one day I might do stairs with my friends, and the next day we might take a run, and the next day we might do a little circuit in my gym, or we might, every day was something. So my body was always going, holy Mama G, what are you doing me today? And I'd always be sore. And likely, as Samantha B would say, I probably wasn't doing a little under eating. And fact being is, it was moderate. And then my kids were out of the house and were empty nesters, and Mama G decided that she was strong enough to be that athlete she always dreamed of being. She raised 4 athletes. She never had a chance to be an athlete when she was younger, and this was my chance to do it. And literally, and by the way, Samantha B, 5-year anniversary coming up. You and I started training together in April of 2014. So happy early anniversary in April of this year. I started killing myself. Not only training with Samantha B 2 days a week, but working with another trainer, an obstacle course trainer, and doing boot camp and running and blah, 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 and have basically spent the last 5 years in and out of surgeries because of injuries and some accidental, some caused, and health issues. But I will tell you what, at almost level 56, wow, am I going to really be 56? Hard to believe. Faster, stronger, better. And because of Samantha B and Mama G delving together in this project together, I now am probably as strong as I've ever been, certainly less injured than I've ever been as well. And my body's loving it. I'm eating more calories than I've probably ever eaten before. I definitely have more muscle mass than I've ever eaten before, or had before, eating the old muscle. But the fact is, folks, you have the same capability. A lot of you don't know Cousin Christy. A lot of you haven't been around this whole last year. And Cousin Christy is moving back to California. She is going to be 79 years of age, and you are not going to believe what this woman at her age is capable of. You will see a lot of Facebook Live with Cousin Christy. You will be shocked at this woman who has suffered with rheumatoid arthritis for most of her adult life, literally destroyed her shoulders because she chose to ignore the fact that she had rheumatoid arthritis and was doing things with her shoulder joints that made them actually have to be replaced completely. And at 79 years of age, she works full-time in retail and is stronger, faster, better than she's been since she was a young woman. And that is due to what? Number one, fueling her body every single day with nutritious and delicious food. She took 60 pounds off with us. Big deal in an 8-month period of time because she lived with Mama G. So Mama G fed her every single meal for 8 months straight. Don't you wish you could live with Mama G? And since she's been gone, since she moved away a year ago, she has been consistent with her exercise. She is extremely active. As I told you, at 78 years of age, she works full time. So she's on her feet every day, 40 plus hours a week. And she still gets her work in, and she's still eating nutritious and delicious. So it's a lifestyle. It's a choice. Cut out the fear of failure. You are already failing when you choose not to feed your body beautiful and nutritious food. We have to delve, for some of you, down deep. All right? Spend some time with, I'm working with a client weekly, and we're dipping in to food and, what that looked like from a young age, and starting to identify why she has food triggers and why it's so easy to go back to, the comfort and the crap and to kind of succumb to all of those things. It's not easy, folks. It's not easy at all. But we got to dip in. We got to find that willpower. And when you can start to understand how good you can feel and how it will change your life, fear of failure is no longer going to be there because you will be succeeding. So, there you go. Samantha B, where are you? So we'll end with this. Don't think you can learn by osmosis, folks. All right? It's not going to happen. You actually have to take action. You actually have to feel it, touch it. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Dave Ramsey, but he's a financial guy, and I'm a huge, big fan of his. People who have financial problems, he takes them back to touching their money. He has an envelope system. So let's just say you have $1,000 for the week, and you got $200 for groceries and this much for this bill or whatever. He takes you back to feeling it. Because if you're not feeling it, folks, you're not going to take ownership of it. Samantha B.
This is Samantha B, and you are better for the rest.
And you know what Mama G always says, not about what you lose, folks. It is all about what you gain. Go have a beautiful day.